Hey all, your OS reviews. In this video, we'll be taking a hands-on first look at the Vita Ring. This is a smart ring, a newer wearable category that's designed as a lighter alternative to something like a fitness tracker or a full-blown smartwatch, particularly if you're trying to go to sleep and you find it to be a little distracting to wear something like a watch band, significantly lighter and more comfortable if you have more sensitive skin. So ever since the Aura Ring, there's been many alternatives available from even brands like Samsung, Amazfit have all created their own versions, and what makes this one a little bit more unique is it claims to be one of the world's first ceramic rings that has a haptic vibration motor baked in. So it actually will vibrate to give you subtle alerts and to remind you if you have a new call coming in or a new message using haptics, which is going to be a little bit different compared to the Aura rings, the Ultra Human Ring Air, as well as the Ringcon rings. None of those other models that we've seen previously have had the haptic vibration motor function, with the exception of another model that we saw recently from a company called Dreamy, maybe better known for making robot vacuum cleaners. It's a ecosystem partner brand of Xiaomi. Also had a similar sensor, but that one was made out of metal, aluminum, the more common material choice, versus, again, ceramic on here they claim to be aerospace grade and allows it to offer more vibrant looking colors. For example, this orange colorway is more of a limited edition during launch, which you can find it for $199, the same price point actually as all the other slightly more premium smart rings, including the Ringcons, Ultra Humans, and Auras of the world. But yeah, you can also find it in shades like blue in addition to more conventional black and white, offering a little bit more customization versus the other metal rings. Similar to dinner plates, you have more customization for the ink and pigments inside. Now, just for reference, the other ceramic smart ring available from Aura measures in at 3.51 millimeters, which is roughly 20% thicker compared to this one, which is 2.8 millimeters, contributing to a slightly slimmer frame. Ceramic is also much harder than plastic, so it's not going to scratch or anything like that, hiding wear and tear pretty nicely in this model that I've been wearing for the past week or so. Now on the inside here, you also find some micro sensors, including SpO2 blood oxygen monitoring and heart rate monitoring, which it does 24/7, in addition to, again, automatic sleep tracking, step count, those basic fitness tracking functions that we've come to expect, with the battery life lasting for around 7 days or 1 week before you have to recharge it again. And it comes with its own charging battery case that can give you upwards of 3 months of additional top-ups, similar to on wireless headphones. You just simply pop it on there and it begins to charge. It actually uses the heart rate monitor there to also act as an LED indication light, as you can see there when it is charging up. So pretty simple but effective enough design. USB Type-C here on the back for charging up the case itself. Now, a couple of other advantages that they claim for ceramic compared to metal materials would be it supposedly has better signal reception strength. There's no interference with wireless connections, unlike with metal. Now, by the way, you also see there's a small Vita logo here on the front, which is a small touchpad. You can actually swipe on this to navigate up and down through lists like a virtual mouse if you're using it for presentations once connected to your phone. Also acting as music play pause controls. Or if you're reading a manga or ebook, you can also use it to flip the page up and down using the ring from afar. A pretty neat secondary feature. And they claim that the ceramic they've used here is 3 times stronger than titanium, rated for 9H hardness, so it shouldn't really scratch or dent as easily in daily wear and tear. Material being nickel-free, should also be skin-friendly, designed for 24/7 wearing. Undergoing over 218 hours of polishing at extreme heat to achieve what they describe as a jade-like finish to it, so it feels a bit more like a stone, with the inside crafted from antibacterial stainless steel. So yeah, the combination of stainless steel and jewelry-grade ceramic definitely makes the hardware feel a little more premium than many of its competitors. Otherwise, it has 5 ATM for water resistance, so even if you dunk it into water, if you're taking a shower, going for a slight swim, it should still survive. And it uses Bluetooth 5.4 for connecting to any phone, including Android, iOS devices. There's also a skin temperature sensor inside, and the combination of these sensors can also track your stress level, your heart rate variability, letting you know if there's any anomalies being detected. Also, the touchpad here can be programmed using the app to trigger an SOS alert if you're feeling threatened or in danger. So you can actually long hold, for example, to contact the authorities, sending the connected location data over from your phone as well. So there's a couple of safety features. Now, that being said, what this smart ring doesn't have would be a small display, though it could be nice to see to tell the time very quickly and give you maybe some more status info at a glance. Additionally, even though this has haptic vibration motors, it's not able to really distinguish the contents of a message. You have to still turn over to the phone to read it back. But in a way, perhaps it's more intentional. Again, the battery life is longer than most smartwatches. It feels more like a normal piece of jewelry, and then you can track your data later on once you're ready to sync it. Kind of in the vein of the minimalist movement that's going on, trying to untether you from a display 24/7 in a way. So there's fewer distractions when you're wearing it, but still collecting some biometric data if you're looking for that. Now here's a final size comparison with some other smart rings. This one here being the Rincon ring, which as you can see has a slightly different shape, I would say, including these two dimples as part of the design. So the Vita Ring here comes in standard sizes of 6 to 13, but the stainless steel inside is a bit more polished and round. So I would say in comparison with Rincon, maybe you want to size up by 1, versus with the Vita, you would probably want to size down by 1 to get a similar level of fit. Also, here's the Ultrahuman Ring Air, just as a size comparison. Interestingly, it looks like both of the Rincon and Ultrahuman have more of a acrylic inside that kind of shows off some of the components, perhaps more in this steampunk or sci-fi way, having it suspended in the resin, versus on here it's covered up using the stainless steel, going for a slightly different look. But yeah, the majority of existing smart rings in the market seem to be built out of metal, having a slightly more standard look by now, versus the more colorful and vibrant ceramics on here, if you're looking for something a little bit more playful and maybe different. Now, speaking of fit, you will receive a sizing kit first, similar to all the other smart rings, to just ensure you're getting the correct fit before ordering the final size, inside which we have the sizing kit, which is pretty decently presented, all in this white coarse paper texture, and it tells us to wear the sizing kit for around 24 hours to ensure that it fits properly as you're sleeping and your day-to-day activity before clicking on confirm. As you can see here, coming in the aforementioned sizes of 6 all the way to 13, offering pretty much a one-to-one fit in terms of the grooves on the front here as well. It's also an example of what the white finish version will look like as well. So for example, having the equivalent size 11 ring here, you can see it here side by side, pretty much capturing all the details of the finalized version, but obviously these ones are made out of plastic instead, so they're much lighter, but helps you confirm on the size before you again finish placing the order. And afterwards, the finalized ring will come into its own separate box. Again, very similar packaging here with this coarse paper-like material. Some of the specs here include the battery capacity is technically only 17 milliamp hours. And that may seem minuscule, but it's pretty much right in line with other smart rings, since the tech needs to be tiny for it to still feel and look like a regular ring. So they have really miniaturized these components, and again, incredibly, it's able to last you for around a week before you have to recharge it, just because it eliminates a larger screen, which is possibly the biggest consumption of power for a normal fitness tracker or smartwatch. So anyways, aside from the ring, you also have a braided USB Type-C charging cable, which is included, Type-C to Type-C, as well as just a quick user guide over here that just tells you how to scan to download the companion app, as well as a microfiber cleaning cloth as an extra here as well. So very simple overall presentation. Now, in terms of the ergonomics and fit is concerned, I can confirm that it is a very comfortable feeling smart ring. Certainly didn't feel too fatiguing or noticeable in daily wear. Now, by the way, when it comes to the position of how you want to wear it, perhaps your index finger on the left or right hand, I say that because ideally you want the sensors here to be facing downwards for the highest accuracy during readings, and the Vita logo should be slanted a little bit towards the side. And that will ensure that the touchpad allows you to be controlled as you're wearing the ring using your thumb, for example, like this, as you're swiping up and down. Or, by the way, if you find the touchpad to be too distracting, you can disable it in the companion app as well. Whether you're left or right-handed, you're able to control the touchpad using your thumb as you're wearing it. And now opening up the Vita companion app, it'll detect the ring nearby once you have location services and Bluetooth turned on, allowing you to also confirm and color coordinate the specific ring that you have in front of you. There's also a brief tutorial on how to use the aforementioned touchpad. You can press and hold for around 2 seconds to activate or double tap on it quickly, or you're able to swipe up and down. But all of these gestures, including double tap and long holding, are all, I think, making sense. So if you accidentally tap it once against your hand, it's not going to do anything. You have to be a little bit more deliberate, getting rid of a single tap. And also the touch sensor will automatically go into sleep after 10 minutes of inactivity to further get rid of accidental touches. And how you can wake it back up is to rotate your palm 180 degrees, basically in a motion like this, and then you're able to use the touchpad again. And so from this point, you're able to check out the battery percentage remaining, as well as the core metrics in a pretty simple form, including your heart rate data, sleep monitoring, SpO2, body temperature, as well as estimated mood, which is using the SpO2 and heart rate to give you an approximation. Note that there is no blood pressure metric, but that's pretty much expected since it's not going to be very accurate anyways, using just the optical sensors. So it's mostly expected, and also swipe down to check out any alerts if you have an anomaly popping up. Now, more specifically, if I tap under a certain tile like heart rate, there's a gear icon that tells you to change the duration of measurement. So every 10 to 30 minutes, it's able to track your metric once and then record that over time. For high heart rate alerts or anomalies and low heart rate alerts, you can also customize what the beats per minute you want it to set. And then for SpO2, you can also turn on a low SpO2 alert. If it's under, for example, 95%, it might indicate that you're not breathing properly to get enough oxygen in your blood, and you should seek out medical attention. So you can turn this on and off. However, the interval of measurement for SpO2 cannot be changed, unlike heart rate that gives you a little more control. Similarly, for body temperature alert, you can also change the high versus low, as well as the range until it will push an alert, so on and so forth. So the app is relatively simple, but easy enough to read, quite minimalistic, not as advanced as something like a Fitbit or Garmin, but at least it's fast to pair and connect. Now, under the Final Me tab, this is where you can change the vibration. If you want to turn it on for things like health alerts, call reminders, app reminders, as well as under Smart Touch, this is the aforementioned touchpad control. So you can trigger this on and off, including music control, taking a photo, as a selfie remote from afar, using it for PowerPoints, as well as, again, reading purposes. So let's give this a quick demo here, starting here with slides. The side of the touchpad, as you can see here up and down, is able to swipe left and right through the PowerPoint presentation. Actually feels pretty responsive for the most part. Having a connection range of around 10 meters or 33 feet between the device and the ring, actually doing quite well. You can then cast the screen of your device onto a larger TV or monitor using Chromecast, Miracast, or wired connection, and you're ready to go. And yes, this works for webtoons and comics as well. If you want to swipe up and down to flip the page, if you are reading, placing the device from slightly further away, you can still enjoy content in this manner. Similarly, with ebooks, it also works as well, flipping the page left and right, just by swiping using the ring. The touchpad has been pretty responsive for the most part. And also verifying that the selfie remote control also works just by long holding for about 2 seconds. You can see it will capture an image or begin recording video. Finally, testing it for music control as well. We can long hold for about 2 seconds to play and pause, as you can see there. Also working as expected, or swipe to basically skip tracks into the previous song or the next song, so on and so forth. All seems to be functional enough. And by the way, SpO2 and heart rate can also be measured manually. If at some particular point you want to take a measurement, you can just click down below there to take a test. Relatively quick. And I would say the accuracy of the SpO2 and heart rate sensors are pretty much in line with other smart rings that we've seen from brands like Amazfit, Rincon, which is generally good enough as a rough approximation for a super tiny wearable that is. Now, numbers might not be completely medical grade accuracy, but using these optical sensors, I would say it's doing a fair job, but allows you to see your resting heart rate and also when you are more active, less active, so on and so forth. And note that below every single section, you'll find a kind of AI-generated summary, I guess, of some of your trends and analytics. For example, if your heart rate is within a normal resting range or not. If it's too high or too low, it might give you a couple of quick recommendations. Now, keep in mind that this is our initial hands-on first look, not our full comprehensive review, just because this is currently early production samples. Not everything is 100% finished from an optimization point of view, specifically with the software. So it's going to be more of an exploration or walkthrough rather than being completely definitive, something just to keep in mind. But overall, again, the hardware fit and finish already feels quite refined for what it is. Now in the middle, there's also a tab called Circle, which is a slightly more interesting software aspect that I haven't really seen with other smart rings. They're trying to add a more social or connected aspect to this, where you can compete against friends and see how your progress maybe stacks up when it comes to fitness and activity goals. So you're able to add a contact just by tapping over here, and then sending a request based on your user ID. Now I'm able to see one of my friends and how they are doing with their smart ring, and it looks like their current status. Again, some of these insights are leveraging large language models to give you a takeaway of how you're doing instead of only seeing the number like 70 or 80 beats per minute. At least it provides a couple of recommendations in layman terms of what it actually means. So this person's heart rate, for example, is a little bit high. They should try maybe breathing a little bit more, so on and so forth. For example, it looks like they had a good night's sleep previously, 91 out of 100, generally in a good restful state. I can also tap inside to check out another, again, health overview, which does require permission from the other person to be shared. But again, if you have a close friend or perhaps a family member, let's say an elderly, a grandparent, or a sibling that you're trying to keep a tab on, this might be an interesting option for you to leverage. It's not something that I've seen before on other smart rings. And under the gear icon, you can also say this person's a family member, it's a friend, so on and so forth, assigning different tags as well. And there's also kind of a chat interface down below. You can ask specific questions for summarizing some of the trends. So for example, how's sleep quality beyond the score, any awakenings or fatigue? We can see the chatbot here also interpret the data and provide us with a summarized result. Again, similar to Gemini or ChatGPT, kind of behind the scenes, giving you a little bit more of a Q&A experience as you're asking specific questions, typical heart rate, or of course ask your own questions, not noticing too much latency with the chatbot at the moment. Now, with that being said, one slight con or downside that I am observing is to access the full AI functionality, including this chatbot, a large language model asking questions specifically back and forth, will require perhaps a future subscription at some point, like many AI products, just because there is a certain amount of tokens that these companies can consume from ChatGPT, and it's based on volume of requests. They have to pay more. So currently, they're saying that all of these more deeper analytic functions you'll have access to for at least 1 year for free if you're purchasing it during the product launch phase. But further down the line, the situation could change. That being said, all of the basic metrics, including just recording your heart rate, body temperature, sleep data, all of these things don't require any subscription, and you'll be able to continue using them without any additional payments. It's only those more exclusive chatbot and AI insights part, which might be a little bit more dubious, having that situation. So you can completely ignore these features if you don't want to use them, and just have it act as a normal fitness tracker smartwatch without the AI, which, let's be honest, a lot of people are probably a little wary of these days, and it will still be completely fine. You don't have to ever touch that if you don't want to. No additional payment is needed. Or if you want to dive down the rabbit hole, kind of treating it like a virtual doctor and asking specific questions related to how you can improve in a conversation form back and forth with that chatbot, then you can access those additional features if you want to. So the choice at least is yours. Now, as for haptics, I would say it definitely is noticeable as well. It's not going to be quite as strong feeling as on a smartphone, but as you're wearing it tightly on your finger, you can still feel it slightly buzz and vibrate, kind of like a gentle tap to remind you that something is incoming if you are paired to your phone. That being said, in the current software, one additional feature I would like to see added for using the haptics would be as a alarm clock mode, to remind you maybe to take medicine or to wake up. But yeah, aside from that, I do think it's a good idea, and it's a subtle but noticeable sensation. So anyways, that is more or less it as far as our hands-on look at the Vita Smart Ring. And what I can say is it is a very elegantly designed piece of hardware. I think that's the part that I'm personally like the most about this one here. I do think the jewelry grade finish is in fact very elegant and premium feeling as well as looking. Ceramic as a material, I do think is a little bit underrated. We haven't really seen it used too much on phones as well as other consumer tech. But in my opinion, it feels as premium, if not even more premium than metal or glass, while having better durability. So we get all of those finishes here extremely smooth to the touch, vibrant colors, and I do like the touchpad as well as subtle haptic vibrations, which are two sensors that we don't always see on some of these smart rings. Overall, presenting a pretty simple to use experience. So if you're interested in something like this, at least it offers another alternative. This one, again, going after the style points a little bit more. You can check out more details if you're interested in the links down below. For now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been a first look at the Vita Ring.